Hello, welcome to my live video today. Thank you so much for being here, taking the time out of your super busy and important life to talk about relationships and how to really live your best life, be your greatest self, and accept all of it while maybe other people don't. And I know that probably almost every single one of my beautiful, amazing soul sisters can resonate with this message. Hey, Jackie. That's why this one is really important to share out. And mainly I know it's important to share out, hey Simran, because I kind of feel like I'm going to throw up or go to the bathroom all at once, okay? I know that's TMI, but it's like way bigger than me. So number one, put a number one in the comments if growing and being the leader in a relationship has been a point of contention for you. If you've maybe felt held back by someone else's lack of growing and it's just basically a big fucking struggle, right? This can be so challenging. And if you put a number one in the comments and you agree with this, share this message, because like attracts like. Your soul tribe, your soul sisters need to hear this message too. So when you share, put a share in the comments and I will give you a big virtual hey Alaya hug and shout out, because sometimes I'm just very diligent about it, and this is one of them. Thank you for sharing this video. It is so important for all of us to, thanks Alaya, it is so important as we rise to consider our relationships. And not only is it important to consider them, a lot of times, and most often, they blow up in our face if we're not. Am I right? Put a number two in the comments if you rising, if you living your best life, if you stepping into your greatness has caused a rift in a relationship. Whatever relationship, maybe it's a sibling, maybe it's a child, your parent, or your spouse. Let's see that number two. Thanks, you guys. I'm just like, there's new features and I'm like, what is happening? So you are in the right place, because me too. Okay, solidarity, let's come together. Let's talk about what's really happening. Being the leader is fucking hard. Being the leader means you're going to go first. That means that if your spouse, your life partner is not on board with your growth because it scares the shit out of them, that is not an indication that you need to stop, is it? No. Put some up high hands in the comments if you know that your mission is unstoppable. Up high. Give it to me up high, because I know that my mission is unstoppable. And no matter how many rifts it creates, I'm going to continue to believe in it. And so I actually pinpointed kind of a three-step process and three things that we really, really need to remind ourselves of, we need to remind our sisters of, and we need to take very seriously, because this is something that can break you. And what I mean by that is can't stop, won't stop. Yes, Leah, is that our inner relationships are a direct relationship, or direct relation to ourself, right? It's how we feel about ourself. And when we pinpoint that other people's insecurities and their triggers are triggering us, well, there's something for us to heal as well. And so it's really important to remember that these are all opportunities. And there's also a time sometimes to call it quits and to not deal with somebody in your life if they're really holding you back. And so I'm going to kind of talk about that process. Are you guys ready? Put a star emoji in the comments, star, if you are ready. I'm going to break this down into three steps that you probably are going to want to write this down and remind yourself. Like I said, this came to me like an intuitive download. This is bigger than me. I am simply a messenger, and also a very, very experienced messenger. We'll get into that another time. All right, I'm seeing the stars come in. Here we go. This is probably the most important thing and the most underlooked at thing. Janine says, I've felt pretty close to being broken and breaking down with this, but thank God I'm still going. Strength and faith. Yes. And sisterhood, right? If sisters are rising, women are rising, we need to band together. We need to have these conversations, and we need to really remind, like I said, ourselves and each other of this. So this is number one. You guys put a number one in the comments when you're ready. Let me get a little sip of water so I can do this thing. All right. Number one, like I said, is probably the most overlooked piece of this story, okay? Because normally what happens is we go head to head with somebody because they aren't seeing our vision and you want them to. That's not where the problem begins, okay? The problem and the solution all begin with this one thing, and it's honoring and owning your gifts. Okay? And this is not in the traditional, you have to own your gifts to shine. Yes, that's true. But second to that, the thing we really need to recognize is that in every single person's life you touch, you are a gift. Whether or not you are going through something hard, whether they're going through something hard and you're being there for them, you are a gift. Whether you're triggering them, you are a gift. Write this down. Get this tattooed on you. Even if, probably especially, if you are triggering someone and they are up, right? Their pain body is awake because of you, you are a gift to them. And so if you're holding yourself back from your truth and from going full force into your passion and your purpose, because you're afraid that it might hurt somebody, because you're afraid that it might trigger them, put a hand up, tap some hearts if you have had this experience. Have you ever felt like, yes, I want to do this. Yes, I want to invest that money. I want to go all in. I want to believe in myself more, but I'm afraid or I'm looking for permission from someone else. Because here's the truth. Nobody else is going to give you permission. Nobody else is going to see your worth. And nobody else is going to tell you that it's okay to be your best self until you own the fact that it is a gift, and that it is not only a gift to the world, but it's a gift to every single person's life who you touch. And so if you're having an issue, say with your spouse, for example, we might take me as an example earlier today, which maybe prompted this video, but I will never tell. Okay, I'll tell you. I was having an issue earlier with my husband, and it was about my requirements. And so another piece of owning your gifts and recognizing that you are a gift for every single person's life you touch, even when you're having a conflict, even if, and I'll use, my example, even if you're asking your husband to step up into his power, even if you're asking him to dive deeper into his spiritual work so that you can feel more connected, and that triggers the fuck out of him, it is still a gift because it is all choice. And the thing I think we get so caught up on, and tell me in the comments if this has been you, because it has certainly been me, where you feel like it's not really a choice. You've been married for a long time, or it's your mother or father or your kids or your siblings, and you're locked into these relationships. These relationships are bound. They were created maybe even without total physical human choice. And so we think that we need to sacrifice for them. We think that we need to hide parts of ourselves to make them feel more comfortable. And the truth is, we are all spiritual beings. We come here into a body with lessons, with a soul that comes with us, and we align with people. And we align with people for short periods of time, and we align with them for long periods of time. And some of the byproducts of that are love, are sex, are all the good feelings that come along with being in love and being connected. But those are not the absolute truth. The absolute truth is your soul's work, and the work that you're here to do, and that person is here to help you do. And just like they're helping you grow, you're helping them grow. And so to own that and say, you know what, in every instance, even when it's uncomfortable, even when I'm growing into this place I don't even know and it all feels new, It is still a gift to that person who you are triggering. And the reason you're triggering them is because it's something in them that they are scared to look at. And when you truly live your best life and you're stepping into your greatness and owning that and owning your gifts, you are going to trigger people, because that light you shine and that mirror that you hold will not match them anymore. And when it's disaligned and it doesn't match, it's fucking uncomfortable. And so just to bring it back, to recognize you're having a conflict, it feels like a power struggle. You want them to honor your gift. You want them to see your vision. You want them secretly to give you permission. And the truth is, you have to be the leader. You need to lead yourself. You need to lead your gifts and own those so strongly that there is no way at all that somebody would not recognize it. They may not recognize it in themselves, and therefore they can't see it in you, but they are not going to want to stay around you. Okay, and this brings me to number 2. So put a number 2 in the comments if you're ready for number 2. Number 1 is own not only your gifts, but that you are a gift, and that you pick people to walk in alignment with, that you pick people to share this spiritual journey with, so that you can heal, so that you can uncover the layers, so that you can be more in your truth. And if that truth triggers them, that is on them. Period. No matter how bound you are with them. Okay, number 2 is huge. And I think what happens, and you guys tell me in the comments if this has happened for you. I know it's happened for me. It's communication. And so I truly believe that leaders are responsible for good communication. We need to make that a meme. Somebody write it in the comments. Leaders are responsible for good communication. And they also are responsible for going first, leading. Right? And if we don't communicate when we change, when we grow, what our requirements are, what our expectations are, what our gifts are, then we cannot expect somebody else to understand us. Therefore, we don't feel seen or heard, which is super fucked up in a relationship. Am I right? So if we want, and if what we want is to feel seen, heard, and understood, it is our responsibility. Jackie says leaders are responsible for good communication and going first. And if you are not doing that, that is probably a big reason why your partner or your parents or whoever you want to come along this journey with you, to stay beside you on the path. It's because you're not communicating, and it can be very scary. But it is the most essential thing. But it's the second step. And why is it the second step? Because if you go to your partner or your parents to explain to them what you want and what your requirements are, but you are even a little bit shaky on the fact that this is a gift for both of you, that this is a blessing that you are stepping up, that it is a blessing that it triggers them, that the only negative thing out of this is you not doing it. And if you are even just a little bit shaky on that, it's not a go. And that's oftentimes when people get defensive. And again, I'm not saying I'm talking about me and my husband earlier, but it might be. People get defensive. They get really scared, but they usually don't admit that they're scared because they're so fucking afraid of being wrong. We have to understand that most people's biggest fear in life is of being wrong. Right? Am I right? Every conflict you have, what does somebody want to be? They want to be right. And so that's where defensiveness comes from. And when we go into it with that leadership mindset, with the mindset of this is a gift, my growth is a gift, my communication is a gift, the time that this person gets to be with me is a gift, well, there is no room for any of that bullshit. And honestly, I've taken on now a new role with my husband. When he gets defensive, I just walk away. And I don't even say anything. And he was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, just talk to me when you're not defensive. Because I'm bringing my light, I'm bringing my love and my growth. And I'm talking about my personal goals, life, and dreams. And it might be triggering you. But if it's triggering you, you need to deal with that and then come talk to me. Because I'm not going to let somebody else's triggers and self-work, truly their journey, fuck with my journey, right? In the comments, tell me this. Are you going to let somebody else's journey fuck with your journey, no matter how close they are to you? No. Katie says, right, feels like validation. Ashley, this was you guys last night. You guys, I know, I'm feeling it. This is what I said. That's why I felt like I was going to go to the bathroom right before this, because it is bigger than all of us, and it needs to be shared. That it's not too late to share the video out. Yeah, Lola, we must protect our gift. And if we can just keep bringing it back to that you are a gift in this world. It is no accident you are here. There is no accidents. And every single thing about you and your life and all of the negative patterns and all of the things you need to change and all the blocks, all that shit, there's no accident, and it's all gifts too. Because when you master yourself and when you are the leader, you get to affect change. And I know that a lot of people right now are talking about change on Facebook, and I don't have the answers in terms of the big global change. But I do know that when we change ourselves and when we change the dynamics in our homes, and we up level and we raise our vibration and we truly start to live our best life, that we do affect change. And this is what I know how to do. And this is why I'm here saying this, because I feel like it's the most important thing that we can start with at the very least, right? All right, you guys, number 3, okay? Number 1 was to recognize that your growth is a gift, that when you bring it to a relationship, even if it triggers someone, it's a gift to them too. Number 2 is to communicate what you need, what your requirements are, who you are. If you're changing, tell them you're changing. If you're up-leveling, tell them you're up-leveling. Put that number 3 in the comments so we can move on to number 3, because now we just have a big fucking pile of truth, right? It's just a big old pile of truth. Here I am showing up as your gift. I recognize that if I trigger you, that's okay. I am still here for good, even if it feels uncomfortable to other people. Am I right? And I'm going to communicate that to you, and I'm going to tell you what my intentions are, and I'm going to be in integrity about my purpose and my message. And number 3 is probably maybe the hardest part. You know, I think there's challenges in it all, but once you get past this hump, and probably it's the communicating it, right? With that I am a gift mantra. It's this: accept it or get the fuck out. I know, it's big, it's crazy, but I mean it. And it doesn't, okay, let me start. Accept it or get the fuck out, because there are going to be, and I know that as you go on your entrepreneur journey, as you're doing spiritual development, as you're up-leveling your vibration, there are people who are going to be uncomfortable, and they're usually the closest people to us. And it is so hard. It is so hard. Trust me, I have shed many a tear over it. And at the same time, unless you accept it, you will be held back. And so I want you just to imagine yourself walking along your path, and to know that that's what we're all here to do. All we all want to do, raise your hand, put a high five emoji in the comments if what you want more than anything is to feel like you're on your path. You want to know that you're on the right path. You want to stay on your path. You want people to get on the path with you. And this is the human way. This is how we align our soul with our body, is we see the path and we stay on it. And the reason it feels really uncomfortable when we're trying to pull somebody onto our path and they're going really slow, or they're way over there, is because that's not the work you're supposed to do. That is not your work. Your work is to be on your path. Your work is to continually move forward, see what's around the bend, step forward anyway, even though you're in fear, to keep moving forward. And when we have these frictions with other people about our own journey, we are stalling our progress. And that's when we feel stuck. Am I right? You feel stuck because you're being held back. And so there's two things. I do not think this means you have to get a divorce. I'm not getting a divorce because I felt friction on my path earlier today, okay? But what I am saying very clearly is this is the work I'm here to do in the world. You got to keep up with me or I don't know what's going to happen. And I can't promise anything because I'm going to keep moving forward. And so that commitment to moving forward on your path and accepting that someone else may not be with you at all times. And that doesn't mean that they won't catch up later around the bend. And maybe it's a year and maybe it's 2 years. And specifically when you're talking about a marriage or a parent-child relationship, you know, we're in it for the long haul. You're going to have these ebbs and flows and times that you feel totally together, like you're holding hands on the path and you're skipping and you're moving forward consistently at the same time. But it's a fucking pipe dream to think that that's going to happen each and every single day of your life. It's not. And so to recognize that acceptance is the power we have. It's the power we have to say, I'm still moving forward in my commitment to showing up, and you are welcome to be on your own path and your own journey right now because I'm not going on that path with you. And that is love. And again, we take it back to the first part, which is I'm the gift. I'm a gift. This is a gift. This is a gift I'm giving you by continually moving forward because is it a gift to anybody? Tell me in the comments, yes or no. Is it a gift to anybody in your close relationships, in your distant relationships, or in the entire world to be stagnant on your path, to feel stuck, to not be moving forward? Is it? Is it a gift to anybody? And if the answer is no, I expect to see a bunch of no's rolling up here, then the only option we have is to accept it and move forward. And that might mean that they never catch up. It might mean that to get the fuck out, right? There are going to be a lot of relationships, specifically friendships. When you have a friendship and they don't support you, I say get the fuck out. And then maybe down the road you'll meet back up, but I would say cut those ties. And you can still cut ties with people who you're staying in a relationship with. In fact, a really great physical exercise is to actually just karate chop and imagine these ties that you have with people that you love and chop them, and they can be in specific areas. So that doesn't mean that you're chopping the whole relationship, but you can chop that section of the relationship. You can chop the obsession, the caring, the need for approval. Just chop it and keep moving forward because that's what you're here to do. And so I hope this message reached you at the perfect time. I hope that you really got something out of it. And if you got even just a little bit out of it, please share it with your friends because this is something that I believe can really change the world. If we aren't content in ourselves and our home life, if we have tension with the people we love, and we aren't moving forward, then we aren't in true service to the world, and we are all being called to step up into our service, to share our gifts. And we really, really have to start with this and keep circling back to it and understanding that when you trigger somebody online, that when you trigger somebody, you know, your coach, or they trigger you, that this is all opportunity for growth and that everything is a gift. Because if you are alive, put some amen hands in the comments. Because you are alive, you are a gift. And it's the most profound and powerful thing we can come back to every single day. So thank you so much for being here. I will see you all on my next live stream, and I'm wishing you a beautiful day. Bye.